It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to go back inside. Because the video that I'm inside, like I'm outside now, but I'm inside then. And so like right now I'm here and it's really nice. But this isn't the video. So like up there, beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful, delightful even. But this isn't the video. It's in the video, but it's not the video. Because the video is what you're gonna see, and it's not this. So it's in there. Well, it's not there. It's cute, but it's not. When you're out here, it's so nice to be here. Yes, beautiful. But when you're in there, it's different. So that's what's happening. I found a story generator and I made stories. Subscribe. This is gonna be intense, everybody. We got a whole thing here. I've never done this before, so name after the protagonist. Title. Okay. Opening scene. Launch into action. Conflict is violent. Resolution is violent. My protagonist is a male whose name is Glossy Bottoms. My secondary character's name is Flossy Awesome. Okay. And they're also a male. What does the second character want from the protagonist? A hug? Yeah, sure, why not? A hug. How does secondary character feel about the protagonist? Negatively. Doesn't understand why he wants this. Something the protagonist would like to say to the secondary character. I don't want to hug you. Name of the place where it all happens. Disney World. Okay. How did the protagonist feel about the place? Negatively. A feature of the place. Bees. Two adjectives that could be used to describe the place. Violence. And what is something else that could describe this place? Violent. 4 emotion adjectives. Violent. Violent. Let's see. Violent. And hopeful. An adjective that could describe an object. Violent. Just as violent. 6 adjectives to describe somebody's character. Well, let's see what I can do. Let's see. I'm so creative. Man, I went to school for creativity and for writing specifically, so you know what's happening right here is just absolute crux creativity. Violent. Okay. Violent. Am I spelling violent wrong? Violent. An occasion. A violent party. 3 verbs. Let's see. Hugging. Okay. Hugging. Hugging. Kissing. Arm wrestling. Boom. What an adventure these people are gonna go on. Something somebody vulnerable. What? Oh, a vulnerable person. A baby bird. A baby egg. You know what? No. Egg. Yes. A noun you might compare the main character to. Violence. A noun you might compare the other character to. Coward who is violent. Okay, good. A type of music. Violent. Okay, let's see here. The protagonist's favorite drink.
Violent beer. Good. 2 objects. Fist and cat. Taking that cat. I saw cat written down there, Epsilon. We're putting cat in here too. Currency. Pounds, dollars, euros, blood. A noun to do with the weather. This is so much. Is this going to make like an entire story? It's going to end up costing money at the end of this. It's going to be a bummer. A noun to do with the weather. Violent rain. Music, do violent jazz. Hold on. Okay, violent jazz. Yeah, sure. I'll switch that up here. Boom. Violent jazz. 3 animals. Person. Plant. Muffin. Okay. 2 body parts. How about I do leg, other leg. Alright, okay. Violent cat. 4 adjectives to describe physical characteristics. Alright, well, you know what's gonna happen here. Plants are animals, just saying. I mean, I'm not trying to be wrong here, alright? I think I filled this out to the very best of my abilities. I'm working very hard here to deliver the most poised and elegant story ever contrived. Violent Glossy Bottoms, a short story by... Glossy Bottoms looked at the violent fist in his hands and felt violent. He walked over to the window and reflected on his violent surroundings. He had always hated violent Disney World with its boiled black bees. It was a place that encouraged his tendency to feel violent. Then he saw something in the distance. Or rather, someone. It was the figure of Flossy Possum. Flossy was a violent coward, who is violent with violent leg and violent other leg. Flossy gulped. He glanced at his own reflection. He was a violent beer drinker, with a violent leg and violent other leg. His friends saw him as a vacant, violent. Once, he had even jumped into a river and saved a joyous egg. But not even a violent person who has once jumped into a river and saved a joyous egg was prepared for what Flossy had in store today. The violent rain teased like a hugging person, making Glossy hopeful. Oh, that's nice. As Glossy stepped outside and Flossy came closer, he could see the long smile on his face. I am here because I want a hug, Flossy bellowed in a violent tone. Okay, I'll fix this. I am here because I want a hug, Flossy bellowed in a violent tone. He slammed his fist against Glossy's chest with the force of 8,044 muffins. I friggin' hate you, Glossy Bottoms. Glossy looked back, even more hopeful, and still fingering the violent fist. Flossy, I don't want to hug you, he replied. They looked at each other with violent feelings, like 2 pongy, puny plant kissing at a very violent party, which had violent jazz music playing in the background, and 2 violent uncles arm wrestling to the beat. Oh, dude, that actually sounds kind of fun. Okay. Suddenly, Flossy lunged forward and tried to punch Glossy in the face. Quickly, Glossy grabbed the violent fist and brought it down on Flossy's skull. Flossy's violent leg trembled as his violent other leg wobbled. He looked violent. His body raw like a cuddly, charming cat. Then he let out an agonizing groan and collapsed to the ground. Moments later, Flossy Possum was dead. Ah, Glossy Bottoms went back inside and made himself a nice drink of violent beer. The end. Whoa, everybody. Whoa. That was intense.